Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So I think let's wait for a couple more seconds and we can get started. All right, I think we can just get started for today's info session. Thank you everyone for joining us. So my name is Jim. I'm the admissions and registration representative at Institute of Global Specialists. So for today's info sessions, one of the instructor, Papa Kojo Botsio, and my colleague Poco from admission team, they will also be presenting to give you some information about programs. For today's info session, we will begin with some general information such as admission requirements and fee structures. And after these brief information, we will get into programs in details. Paul and I will be talking about some programs, and then after that, our guest speaker, Kojo, he will be presenting the details about the module that he teaches. So stay tuned for that. And toward the end, there's a Q&A sessions. We will be more than happy to answer your question at that time. However, if you do have anything to ask during our presentations, don't be hesitate to type those questions at the chat box. So my colleague Yulia, she will be responding your questions during our presentation. So to give you a little bit of general information about who we are in our programs, the Institute of Global Specialists is owned by a nonprofit organization, Canadian Society of Immigration Consultants, which was the previous regulator of immigration consultants in Canada. We are right now located in Central New Brunswick. Currently, we offer 7 programs and everything is 100% online. That will include your study material, assignments, quizzes, and exams, so 100% online. All the programs are designed using the Harvard Business School case study method of teaching, and all the programs are only offered in English. Just so you know that we don't have any prerequisites to join our program, like language requirement. We don't require for that. No age limit to join our program either. And we do accept international students. So regardless where you are, you can join our programs to study from your home country, anywhere around the globe. And international students pay the same rate as our Canadian students. So there's no fee difference between Canadian and international students. And in regards to time difference, as long as you are following the each schedules that provided in different modules. So meeting the different deadlines, such as the days that you have to do your quizzes, the day that you have to submit your assignments, make sure that you make those deadlines. You should be good. And some students have questions about placement. Like most colleges and universities, we will offer career placement support to our students, such as help with writing resumes, identifying job opportunities, networks, improving interview skills, things like that. But it will be ultimately up to you to seek job after completing your studies. But we do provide a necessary guidance and help for you to seek your career path. All our instructors are here to guide you, of course. They are people who have been working in their industry for decades and are still actively involved on the field. We carefully vetted each instructors and select highly qualified individual to design and teach all our programs. So you're not just learning about the theory from your study material, but also learning about the real world experience from our instructors. You're definitely more than welcome to check all their details and bios on our website, globalspecialist.org. We do encourage to check them out. The tuition fee for all IGS program is right now $586 per module. We do have flexible payment plan, so you can pay module by module. Each modules, they are 6 to 9 modules depending on the program, and each module is about 4 to 5 weeks long. That means you are expected to pay 1 module per month. Also, if you are interested in only taking specific module, instead of a whole program, you can choose to take the certain modules in certain programs. For example, in our Canadian Immigration Law program, you can choose to take the only refugee module if you wish. We have next start date scheduled for May 2nd, and you can still apply for that. Another thing to mention about is that we also offer scholarship and financing. If you want to know more about financing scholarship, please contact us after our presentation, and we will be providing more details about that via email or on phone call. Now, I will be going over the programs in detail, so I will be covering 3 programs, and Paul will be introducing the other 4 programs. The first program I'm going to talk about is the Canada Border Service Specialist Program. This program is designed and taught by former CBSA officers and experts who have over 15 years of experience on the field. This program will enable you with essential border services procedure and prepare you to be a capable professional in immigration, customs, import, export, or concerning border services. This program has 7 modules and is 29 weeks long. And once you complete this program, you can seek employment with public sector, such as CBSA, of course, or if you want to work immigration departments, and as well as the private sectors that you have more job opportunity there. You can work with the business or companies that are dealing with the cross-border regulation and processes, those business related to import or exporting, such as Walmart, Costco, oil, or mining industries. The next program I'm going to cover is the Global Immigration Specialist Program. There are 6 modules in this program, and the program is 26 weeks long. This specific program will focus on different global immigration paths through investment, such as producing property in overseas and business overseas. You're going to learn about over 20 countries that cover these programs, countries like Caribbean countries, some European countries, and even some East Asian countries as well. You will be able to identify the needs and risks for your clients that you can find the most efficient routes of immigration in a corporate context. ORGIS instructor has been practicing and providing immigration advice globally for over 20 years, or even 30 years, and they're definitely a great asset for our students. Once you successfully complete this program, you will receive a diploma from us, which will qualify you to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global Society of Immigration Specialists, and you could work as a chartered global immigration specialist and provide service around the world. And then the next program I'm going to cover is the Global Education Specialist Program. Upon completion of this program, you could work as an international student agents for elementary, secondary schools, university, and colleges to receive commissions from them. And of course, you're going to work as a consultant to help students and their family with the right admission process to get into their dream schools. There are 8 modules in this program, and it's 38 weeks long. This program focuses on over 20 countries again. We are going to learn about different levels of education systems in countries like Canada, United States, in some European countries such as UK, Germany, or in New Zealand, Australia, and even some East Asian countries like Singapore and China. It also covers immigration aspects such as how to apply for study permit and visa. And you're going to learn about ethical framework of this industry, of course. You will be learning about the different financial aids available for international students. So you're going to know what's available in different countries and in different schools. Of course, we're going to teach you how to build connection with schools as a designated agents. You are going to learn how to sign a contract and become a representative with them. All our IGS instructors are coming from different parts of the world with amazing background. They have over 20 years of experience in the field. Some are former admission officers and recruiters at post-secondary institutions. Some are experts in processing admissions to K-12 educations. Together, we believe they can provide the comprehensive knowledge and the on-hand experience that you need to become successful student agents. Once you complete this whole program, you will be able to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global College of Education Specialists, and work as a chartered global education specialist. Now, Paul will be covering the other 4 programs in details.
Thank you, Jen. My name is Po, and I'm the Admissions and Student Affairs Representative at the Institute of Global Specialists. I'll now be going over the remaining 4 programs that we offer, beginning with the Foreign Service and International Development Specialist Program. Like all of our programs, the Foreign Service International Development Specialist Program is completely online. There are 6 modules in the program, and it is 24 weeks long. The program will introduce students to the world of diplomacy in bilateral and multilateral settings. The program will examine real-world examples of diplomacy involving Canada and other countries, such as the relationship between Canada and the US. Students will develop essential diplomatic skills, such as intergovernmental negotiation and networking. And these diplomacy skills are not just specific to Canada. They are transferable skills for anyone who wishes to join a career in diplomacy anywhere in the world. The program will also cover how to manage international development projects and the effects of globalization, which are major priorities for NGOs in Global Affairs Canada. There are many ways to launch a career in global affairs, both in a conventional way or non-conventional way. Many careers exist in international affairs that are not simply diplomatic jobs. There are different levels of careers which can be regional and local, such as working on the ground at an NGO. Our program helps prepare students for these various types of career opportunities. I'd also like to take a moment to highlight the instructors in the program. Our instructors have 15 to 30 years of experience as foreign officers with the government or as development specialists, so they are very knowledgeable and well-connected in the industry. Next program that I'll talk about today is the Canadian Immigration Law Specialist Program. The Canadian Immigration Law Specialist Program is geared toward anyone who wishes to have an in-depth understanding of how to navigate the immigration system in Canada. Using the Harvard case study method of teaching, the program covers key aspects of Canadian immigration law and regulations. Please note that this program is not meant for those wishing to become a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. That is a profession regulated by the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. However, there are promising career opportunities after taking our program, such as working for the Canadian government, or for NGOs, or at an existing consulting firm. Our program is taught by immigration consultants who have decades of experience navigating the immigration system. There are 9 modules in the program, and it is 42 weeks long. This is the longest program that we offer, as it covers the complexities of Canada's immigration system. The program covers topics such as PR and citizenship, economic class, family class, temporary class, appeals, hearings and detentions, and refugees. The next program that I'll talk about today is the Global Supply Chain Specialist Program. At a basic level, supply chain management involves acquiring goods or services to achieve your business goals. And in today's globalized world, supply chain management has never been more important. The Global Supply Chain Specialist Program consists of 7 modules and is 26 weeks long. Our program will examine the supply chain process for the public sector, which includes all levels of government, and the private sector. You'll learn how to navigate the complexities of the request for proposal process, known as RFPs, and how to negotiate contracts. The program will cover the supply chain landscape in various countries such as Canada, the US, and the UK. The instructors in our program have diverse backgrounds in the supply chain sector, including the fields of transportation, mining, healthcare, telecommunications, construction, and more. Our instructors have experience in both the private and the public sectors of supply chain management. This program is perfect for business owners interested in training with the government, such as being a provider for the municipal government, or professionals who want to make a career in the global supply chain sector. The last program that I'll cover today is the Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Specialist Program. This program consists of 7 modules and is 28 weeks long. The program will introduce students to the theoretical and the practical applications of machine learning and data science. Through data analysis and visualization, students will learn how to use AI technologies to optimize their business. This program also includes live instructor lessons, so it's very hands-on. The program will cover Python, Jupyter Notebooks, and Google Colab. All of our instructors are leading experts with backgrounds in both data science and in business. This means that they have the academic and the real-world expertise to help students succeed. The program is perfect for business professionals who work with any type of data and who wish to stay competitive by using the power of machine learning and data science. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to highlight our free career placement support module. This free module is available to our students to help them transition seamlessly to a new job. This module helps students with networking, identifying career opportunities, resume building, and interviewing skills. Now, I'd like to introduce an instructor at IGS, Papa Kojo Botsio. Kojo is an education consultant and PhD candidate in comparative and international education at the University of Oxford. In 2016, he co-founded University Avenue, an education consultancy that provides university application counseling services to students in Ghana and across Africa. He recently founded Access Education Global to provide global admissions, tutoring, advisory, and partnership services for educational development. Kojo is currently teaching Module 3, Planning for Higher Education, in our Global Education Specialist Program. Welcome, Kojo.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's a privilege to be invited to share with you all today. And I've really enjoyed the overview that Jen and Paul have given. IGS provides some of the most comprehensive programs that you could ever take to introduce you to the most in-demand careers that exist currently. And what's great about it is that these are careers in which you are actually making sure that other people are able to reach, their various life goals, be it through foreign service, education, and immigration. And it's a very, very rewarding, some very rewarding pathways to take after taking these courses. So today, I will tell you a bit more about the Global Education Specialist Program, and particularly Module 3, which is what I curated and teach, Planning for Higher Education. This is a really important course to take if you are considering it. I would say do not hesitate at all. I have been in the admission space for at least 10 years now, about 11 years now, and it's one of the most rewarding things that I have done. I'll start with a story on how I got into admission. So having been in the US for 6 years studying before moving to the UK, I naturally gravitated to working in the admissions office. Started from, going through applications, filing applications, looking at the different requirements, SATs, transcripts, recommendations, and got a very, very good and detailed overview of everything that is required to make a successful application to the US and to other parts of the world. From there, I had the opportunity to help students, make decisions on courses, on applications, whether to apply early decision, regular decision, help them and their families book interviews, tours at my college. And then even during grad school, I did the same thing, worked in the graduate school recruitment office and in student advisory services at the Dyson School of Applied Economics and Management at Cornell University. So gathering all these experiences in 2016, I co-founded University Avenue to help other students from Ghana and from Africa access higher education opportunities all over the world. In no time, I started getting requests from students from other parts of the world, UK, US, Canada, South Korea particularly, to help them with their own applications. And so creating the planning for higher education module was not a very difficult task because of the detailed experience that I have had in working in admissions, and I've been able to glean the nuances of what is really required to make successful applications. And I'll encourage you to really consider that as a career because, it's helping somebody pursue their life goals, pursue their academic goals, and by extension, the career, pathway that they will take proceeding that. So let's get into a bit of, first of all, how we created the course. I think what makes this course really special, all 8 modules of the Global Education Specialist, is that the IGS gathered specialists from all over the world. Amongst those who created the course, the former senior admissions officers from the US and Canada, educationists and PhD students in the UK, US, Canada, former Harvard professors, professors in top Canadian schools, and really the very top experts in the field. Some of them have worked in admissions for up to 30 years, and that totally dwarfs my 10 or 11 years of experience, but it's a reiterative process. Once you've immersed in it for a little time, you learn all the tricks of helping people, and people stay in this career for long because it's a really, really rewarding one. And every year you get to celebrate with the students and families that you support. So in the planning for higher education module, there are a couple of things that we discuss. There are about maybe 6 in-depth lessons and then a final exam to take, and then some assessments on the way, which help you contextualize what you're studying and then map it onto hypothetical students that I have created, or which you will create yourself to see how you can advise them on the journey. The first thing that you'd consider in planning for higher education with your students and their family as an education agent is when to start preparing. Oftentimes people wait till, it's time to apply, senior year of high school, and then it's the summer of senior year. Which schools are you looking at? And then you have only 3 years. But I would say the best time to start really is at the beginning of your junior year. Now, this is because you get to choose the right courses and prepare very well academically for the requirements that your top schools may be looking for. The person who starts preparing early definitely has a huge advantage over those who leave it too late. And so as an agent, there'll be lots of students and families who will come to you at the last minute who want support, and you are in the best place to provide them that support because you have a good bird's eye view of the process. But also, it is good to start with your students very early as junior year, to start to think of what their interests are, what their talents are, if they play any sports, if they do any arts, music, what are the best universities or colleges for them to pursue? Because there are lots of good schools. For example, if they were going to the Ivy Leagues, there are 8 of them. They are the very top schools in the US, considered as the Ivy League, even though there are some outside of the Ivy League that are also considered amongst the top, including Stanford and MIT. But what you get to do now is to really map your students' persona and their skills, interests, and strengths to what each of these schools offer. So for example, you have a student who is academically brilliant, but they're also a sports person and they want to play for a school that has a very good soccer team, competing at the very top level in Division I NCAA. You would want to look through the Ivy Leagues and decide which one are we chasing down, or which 4 or which 5 are we chasing down. Outside the Ivy League, which schools are very good and will provide the student an opportunity to play professionally in the MLS, for example, if they would like to. So which top schools, have very big soccer teams and soccer programs. University of Michigan is a good one. They have literally one of the largest stadia in the whole of the US. In fact, in the whole of, global soccer, really. And so these are all things to consider. So one, start at the beginning of junior year, outline your students' talents, strengths, and academic preparation. That is key. You have a student who wants to study engineering, for example, and you want to be sure that they take the right classes, higher level math at the IB level, or honors math at the AP level, to make them very competitive as candidates. If it's, mechanical or civil engineering, for example, you have to make sure they're taking the very, highest level of physics. They are engaged in some extracurricular activities, science clubs, etc. Perhaps even working on their own invention or learning how to break up something and reconstitute it again, something that they can really get some experiential learning from, that they can communicate to the admissions office to set them apart. Those are things to consider. How do you do this? To help your students really reflect and come up with their personal interests, strengths, and even weaknesses, to think of what they perhaps should avoid or what they could improve upon. You have to do a personal inventory. It's like writing a master CV of every single thing you've ever done, all your strengths, all the things you need to work on. And then you work through with the student to see how they can plan around that for the next 2 years, how they can plan projects around that, how they can take classes around that, how they can even better some of the activities that they're doing. If they want to go into, a social science course that has to do with international relations, diplomacy, how to join the MUN club, how to vie for leadership positions, student council in their senior year, things like that are very important to consider. The next thing is to do a college inventory, knowing all your students' strengths, weaknesses, etc. in depth. Now you need to know about the schools that they would want to attend, the schools that will provide them the very best experience and really help them grow in character and in ability and maximize their potential. A college inventory basically is like doing a big CV or profiling of different colleges, right? You're looking at academics, whether they offer the courses they want to take. For example, some schools offer general engineering, but may not have concentrations in, say, civil engineering, but you have a student who is bent on doing civil engineering or something, say, architecture related, right? You wouldn't just let them apply to schools that are close to home or schools that are in the top 50 on US News, but you'd let them apply to schools that are actually good at what they want to do. And let's say your student wants to do civil engineering, but also wants to be a soccer player or wants to be a hockey player. You want to look at schools that are both good at civil engineering and also have, a bustling soccer or hockey team. So that's the use of a personal inventory to know your students, and a college inventory to know the colleges that will give them the very best experience and maximize their potential. Application life cycle. Usually applications open in September of senior year or August of senior year. You can apply through the Common App or directly on the website for some schools. And the early deadlines are in November and December for early decision. The regular decision deadlines are usually in January. So you need to consider all that. Some schools have rolling deadlines, but the earlier you apply, the better, because once classes are getting full, the chances of actually getting a spot reduce accordingly. So these are all very important things to consider, and we cover these in detail in the course. Along the way, you get to create a profile of a student and their family that you'll be supporting and making some of these decisions and explorations with. So it's a very rewarding course. It will totally equip you to be a very good agent who is able to consider the students holistically and consider their options holistically and do a very detailed and intentional matching process between students and the colleges or universities they'll be applying to. Financial aid is also important. University is not cheap to attend, and a lot of families have to spend time planning for this. Some schools may have sports scholarships, merit scholarships, need-based, need-blind financial aid. You need to understand all these things and be proactive about applying for these. There are also opportunities outside the schools from private organizations that you may want to consider. There are nonprofits like QuestBridge, Posty Scholars, etc., that you would want to look at, to get to know more about this. And the good thing about this course is it's generalized so that it's not just US or Canada focused, but you can help a student who wants to apply to the UK, to Germany, other countries in Europe, in Asia, to Singapore, to Hong Kong. Basically, you have access to the very top global higher education institutions, no matter the continent. So after acceptance, you may have a student who has several choices, and you really, really need to sit down with them and decide based on finances, based on extracurriculars, based on the courses being taught, based on postgraduate prospects, all that. What is the final decision that we need to make for this student to really go into a good institution for them? This is a very rewarding course by all standards. And I'm very excited for the opportunity that IGS has presented through the Global Education Specialist Program. Not the least my module, but I would say that if you are taking this, try and take as many modules as possible, because the other modules go in depth on, setting up your student for success, visa applications, financial aid, etc. And all those things would give you the most comprehensive grounding that you can get for a global education specialist. So why should anyone take this course? At the end of the module, you will get the best tips to save on financial aid. You get the best tips on guiding your students to make the best decision in terms of colleges to pursue. You will know how to prepare them to actually angle for the very best schools in their areas of interest. It will teach you generally best practices for guiding students and families to make university applications. It will show you how to do solid inventories, personal inventories and college inventories with your students and their families. And in the process, you will also form bonds with students and families. You will also learn from this course, how to manage, the relationship between students and families. And honestly, in the end, it's really rewarding. And I can give an example. Just this morning, one of the early students that I held, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, just messaged that tomorrow she'll be graduating from Calvin College in Michigan. And it's a very proud moment for me, that after all these years, they remembered and they've messaged to say thanks for the support that I gave them about 5 years ago. And honestly, it's a really, really rewarding course to take. Why should you take it from IGS? IGS provides you the opportunity to train to be an agent for several countries. And this course is a very unique opportunity as you get to build expertise handed over from other experts from different countries who are the very top in their fields. We have some of the course curators coming from the very top schools in the US, Canada, UK. And I think that you shouldn't miss this opportunity to get, very top expertise in university admissions. You get to work as an international student agent, which is a very rewarding career, both in terms of providing support to others and in terms of, career goals and financial goals. You can start your own business after you've been certified as an education agent, or you can work as an agent for universities who pay by commission. Some of them pay a good percentage of tuition for every student that you bring, some reward for, diversity recruitment, etc. And there's so many universities in the world, so many countries that have universities that are offering this model. But otherwise, you can also work as an independent agent or start your own business supporting students and their families. Afterwards, you get to write an exam with the regulatory body and work as a chartered specialist or agent. So you'll be recognized as a chartered specialist after you take this course and then write the final regulatory examination. So honestly, all in all, I think that, I'm very excited. I've been doing this work in admissions for about 11 years now. Started my own company in 2016, started another one in 2020. And, just from how rewarding it is, it almost feels like a life call. And it's not something that I plan to stop at any point in time. I really enjoy offering the support, and I know that you would as well. So I encourage you to take this course and meet you on the course. I'm going to be the instructor on Module 3, Planning for Higher Education, and I look forward to seeing you taking the course with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kojo. Now, before we jump into the Q&A section, I'd like to take a quick moment to remind you all of that the tuition for the next module, for each module, is $586 Canadian. We do have monthly start dates, and the next start date is scheduled for May 2nd. Okay, so now to conclude our intro session, we'd like to hear from you. If you have any questions regarding our programs, please feel free to ask right now by typing in the chat. Jen and I are here to help answer any general questions. And of course, our instructor Kojo is also here to help answer any questions on our Global Education Specialist program. Okay, so it looks like we have a question here about the Global Education Specialist program. How do I become an education agent? So this can vary depending on your country and which country you wish to work in. Our Global Education Specialist program does prepare you to become an education agent in various countries. Kojo, do you want to perhaps maybe touch on the process of becoming an education agent and maybe perhaps explain how you became an education agent?
Okay. So honestly, taking a course like this will teach you how to become an education agent if you have not previously worked in admissions. I was lucky to work in admissions, first of all, as a student, and then learn along the way. But it's like starting any business, right? You build expertise, you build interest, and you can set up a consultancy. You can operate as an independent, sort of unlicensed or an unverified agent, but it also helps to have some kind of certification. So what IGS does is it helps you to get that certification that increases your credibility as an agent. And it's really easy to start. Once you have Zoom, once you have WhatsApp, once you have channels of advertising, you can have a YouTube, Instagram, reach out to people, advertise your work, advertise your expertise in helping students choose schools, edit essays, edit their CVs, etc. You realize that this is as global a need as anything, right? People apply to schools as much as people are applying to jobs, as much as basically, like at any point in time, lots and lots and lots of people, have this demand. So it's a very in-demand job. You can set up as an individual consultant, you can get certified, and then it makes you even more attractive to universities who may be looking for agents to basically help them recruit. So I'll say it's a very easy and intuitive process. Once you've gotten the expertise, sometimes it may help at the beginning to take 1 or 2 pro bono candidates to show that you've done this before. I think that was very helpful for me because I used to help, family, friends, people that I knew for free. And in the end, you can use those success metrics to grow your client base. As you're growing, you realize that the demand becomes a lot. So you have the opportunity to also hire people to be editors, to be advisors. You can also end up training them. And then you multiply the proceeds that you get from having a large client base. So it's very rewarding. It's very low cost to start one. You can do it entirely online. You don't really need to have a physical presence or premises, even though some families want to come and see a physical place where they can talk to, their agents. But otherwise, you can do it entirely online. You can also message university admissions offices, international student offices to ask if they would like you to help them recruit more students from particular countries. And then you advertise in those places, help them apply, and then you get your commission. So there are different models to do this, and you don't need much in terms of starting capital. Literally, if you have a laptop, you can be an agent. That's all you need.
Thank you, Kojo. And as you mentioned, like our program does provide the support to become an education agent from start to finish. So we have 8 modules in the Global Education Specialist program, and it covers everything from ethics to building relationships, and of course, Kojo's planning for higher education. We cover visas and immigration, financing, and business practices. So what kind of, how to develop a business plan for you. So it's very personalized, and our program does give you everything you need to start your career. So we have another question here that touches on the same aspect. So do schools have formal partnerships with education agents? If I want to become an education agent, how do I build a relationship with a school? Kojo, do you have any thoughts on that question there?
Yes, I do. So I've had some partnerships with some schools, and they've mostly come through referrals. So it helps to, continue doing individual work for students, because those can be evidence to the universities that you've successfully helped students apply to university. I think that another way in which I have done this, there are a few schools that I've had partnerships with in the UK, and then one in Greece, for example. And, they've come through having contact with, admissions officers, etc. And then also looking out for schools who may be interested in increasing, diversity in their student body, etc. So I think that you need to be really attentive to schools' needs. You can be proactive and message some of the schools to find out if they're looking for agents to help increase their enrollment. And then also through referrals, if you know people working in different schools, talk to them about the admissions process, etc. One partnership that I got was through a friend who was working in another school and introduced me to another friend who was looking to increase their enrollment in yet another school. And that was it. Within maybe about a week, having seen the work that I had done, I was able to sign a contract with them and then support them in, trying to recruit students. So those are some of the ways to go about it. One, through being proactive and then emailing, some of these admissions people, especially when you have an idea that they're trying to increase enrollment. And then number 2 is, if you already know people working in XYZ schools, get in touch with them, let them know the work you're doing, and ask them about potential partnerships. Yes.
Thank you, Kojo. And of course, module 2 in our program is building relationships. So its focus is on developing those networks of between education institutions. And of course, the last module is business practices, which involves creating a business plan. And in that as part of that process, you would also have to it described the networks you would make for different types of education institutions. So our program does give you the comprehensive coverage for that. It looks like we have a question here on the CBSA program. I'm interested in a CBSA program, but I've only completed high school. Can I apply to your program? Jen, do you want to perhaps go over the CBSA program requirements and the application process for that?
Yeah, for sure. So CBSS program is the same like the other programs. The requirements are the same. So basically, we don't require specific educational background. So as long as you submit a copy of your resume upon registrations, introduce yourself on the resume and telling us what's your professional and educational background, and we will review and get back to you. So normally, we will just check everything that you submit and then give us a couple hours, probably a day, so we will get back to you about our decisions. So yeah, no, we don't have any like professional requirement, background requirement, educational background requirement. We don't require you to submit a language proficiency test. So as long as you are comfortable speaking in English, learning in English, then you should be fine. You should be good to apply for our programs.
Thanks, Jen. Are there any other questions before we wrap up today? Okay, so it looks like that's all the questions we have for today. If you do think of any other questions after this, please feel free to contact us after our presentation. Before we wrap up today, we do encourage everyone to check out our website and read about our instructors. Of course, we're very proud of our instructors, and they've been carefully chosen for their expertise and their real-world experience. Of course, we also offer free demo modules of each of our programs. So if you are interested in a specific program, you can explore a free demo module just to see how it works. To request access to a free demo module, submit a request on our website or email us directly. Our website is globalspecialist.org, and you can apply online for the May 2nd start date. You can also email us at info@globalspecialist.org or call us at 1-888-228-4598. So thank you for your time, and we do hope to hear from you soon. Goodbye.